Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Secure Document Archiving and Access Made Easy. My name is Nicole Schmeida, Senior Marketing Specialist here at DocuWare, and I'll be moderating today's 30-minute session and the Q&A conversation that we'll have at the end. Today's main presenter is Caleb Wolf. He's our Senior Sales Director here at DocuWare. He has 8 years experience equipping companies of all sizes with secure document management solutions. So it's great we have him on the line for you today to ask your questions. You can see today's agenda. First, Caleb will go over, what is DocuWare, how it helps protect your documents, organize them. Then he'll go into a live introductory demo so you can get a feel for the solution and how it works. And then we will get to your questions at the end and how you can take the next steps, continuing the conversation. So with that now, I'll hand it over to Caleb.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So today I want to spend the most of the time actually in the product, but I do have a few slides just to get us started introducing you to DocuWare. I really hope that your desks don't look like this, but I want to talk about what document management is. Obviously, we have paper. That's one form of content. And the reality is that there's still lots of paper that's flowing around organizations. A lot of organizations are using paper-based filing systems. Still today, we still see lots of filing cabinets in offices. Companies usually end up with a mix of, filing cabinets, local folder structure, network file shares. We have emails, and I'm sure we've all been there where we filed away a document to a subfolder, and then we spend a lot of time, trying to remember what we named it or where we put it. Outlook is a document management system, obviously dedicated for emails. So we end up with similar issues with crowded inboxes, similar to Windows folder structure. A challenge here could be, our own email structure that we've created. So the idea of a document management system and what DocuWare does so well is we keep all of this information in a central repository. So that's what we're talking about today, is a central repository for all of your documents, the ability to store different types of documents regardless of where they originated, having all of your files securely stored in one system with advanced permission controls, audit trails, automatic revisioning. It really allows your organization to get a grasp of their content. So we have all of our documents digitized and archived, but how do we know if the documents are really secure? So this is very important to DocuWare. We offer advanced encryption, known as AES, and we put that on secure protocols with TLS encryption. In our cloud environment, your data is your data. So with triple data mirroring, we offer advanced protection against data loss. That's with our cloud product. We have both cloud and on-premise products available. This slide is a great visualization that shows how protected your documents are in our cloud solution. You'll notice on the graph that we have the 10 gigabytes. That's like the actual documents that if you had 10 gigabytes stored inside of our cloud, we're also storing another 50 gigabytes for redundancy. So this ensures that you don't lose your documents, even in the case of a catastrophic event. We currently have over 7,000 organizations utilizing our state-of-the-art cloud solution, so you can rest assured that performance is always top of mind. Some of the key benefits to DocuWare and what you're going to see today in my demonstration is our intelligent indexing, the capturing of our data, the custom access rights. I'll show you a little bit about permissions control. We're going to talk about automated retention policies, and then I'm going to show you version control and log changes. And with that, we will step into the live demonstration. So this is DocuWare. DocuWare's been around since 1988. We've been a document management company from day one. Our core differentiator in the marketplace is really the user friendliness of the product. This is really important to you as an end user because with any software, some of the challenges are the end user adoption rate. And we have a very high end user adoption rate, and we attribute that just to how user friendly the product is. We also have, I think we're over 18,000 organizations worldwide now, and we have a super low cancellation rate, which is just a testament to the product. Whether you're in our on-premise or our cloud solution, it is all browser-based. So up here in my address bar, you'll have your domain name .docuware.cloud, and then whoever's logged into the system will be displayed right here in the middle. So I have caleb.wolf.admin logged into this account at this time. This is important. This is where we determine permissions, who has access to what within inside of the repository. On the right-hand side, I have my document viewer. Left-hand side, I have what we call our workspace. And then up here at the top, I have what we call our navigation panel. It's really extremely intuitive. If I gave you a trial system and you just played around in it, you could figure your way through DocuWare. Not only is it easy to figure out, but users enjoy the experience. We've been used to working with so much paper. We're looking for an easy tool to go digital with, and that's what I'm going to show a little bit of today. So I'm going to do this a little bit out of order compared to what I normally do. I'm going to show you searching first. So let's fast forward a little bit. We've been storing all of our documents inside of DocuWare. And now I'm going to show you how do we find that information. So this little search button up here at the top you can have different filing cabinets or electronic repositories within your organization, similar to the way that we did in the old days with paper and filing cabinets. You know, accounting might have their filing cabinets and HR might have their filing cabinets. This is the same thing. We have accounting and we have documents, and these filing cabinets can have different users that have access to it. So we're going to start with our documents filing cabinet. And this might be new, but this is really what the document management, like a database document management system does, is it allows for you to index information. So rather than storing something by file save as, navigating a folder structure and trying to remember what I called the document, we're just going to identify the document by what it is with these different index fields. This really gives me a ton of power when it comes to finding a document. So when I click the document type drop down, you'll see that I have a few document types listed here. If I hit the company name drop down, you'll see I have a few different company names listed. This goes for each of these fields, right? It's going to show me what's in my database. As I narrow one down, so if I choose Flying Tom, and now I click the document type, I'm only going to see document types that I have stored related to Flying Tom. If I wanted to see all of Flying Tom's documents, I would just click search, and I would see all of their documents. If I wanted to filter that and only look for a specific document, I could do a search and only see the specific document that I'm looking for. If I wanted to do all agreements, so I want to be able to find all agreements that are stored inside of my system, regardless of who the company is, I could click search and I would see all of those agreements. I could narrow that down by project. So if I'm capturing project numbers, I could choose a project and it's going to automatically relate all of the documents that I have stored regarding a specific project. So this is really where the power comes into being able to find my documents. Now, if that wasn't enough, we also give you a Google-like search with our full text search engine. So I can simply type in the word insurance, and because I don't have any other fields filled out here, if I click search, it's going to search all the documents in my system and find any document that has the word insurance on it, and it's actually going to highlight that word for me. So if I wanted, maybe I wanted to be specific, and I think I saw on there, it was traveler insurance. We'll find out in a second if I got that right. I did not get that right. So let's go back to insurance, search. It was transport insurance. I was trying to get that. So if you want to search like a group of words together, you can put that in quotes, transport insurance, and then click search, and you're only going to get back any document that has that full phrase. So you can get really specific with the full text, and rather than searching one document, you're actually searching an entire subset of documents within your repository. So that's a little bit about searching and how we're going to find the documents after they've been stored. let's talk a little bit about how we store these documents. So I'm going to go back to my trays. Document trays. This is like a basket on your desk or a tray outside your door where you put documents or other people might be putting documents. It's just a digital version of that basket or tray. The way we get documents into here is a number of different ways. I can simply click the import button, navigate a Windows file structure and click open, and that's going to bring a document into the system. I can also open the Windows file structure, and I could select multiple documents and simply do a drag and drop to get those documents into the system. We also have the ability to monitor a folder on the network. So if you're scanning a document from a multifunction device, I'm just going to drag this proposal sample into this folder called monitored folder. So this would be, you're scanning some paper at a copier, it's going to a folder, DocuWare's monitoring that folder. When it sees a document hit it, it's going to pull it out and it's going to send it to wherever we told it to go. So you could have multiple folders being monitored on the network. We also have pretty tight integration with Outlook. So we have an embedded DocuWare button that you can use to store documents or search for documents. You can also drag and drop documents into the tray. You can also monitor folders within Outlook. So if I bring this email to a folder within Outlook, DocuWare can be monitoring that folder. It will automatically pull, I have it set up to pull the attachment, but you could pull the email and the attachment all at once. So those are some ways to get the documents into this document tray. Once they're here, I have some basic document assembly that I can do on these documents. I can select multiple documents, I could right click and I could staple them together. Once again, we're using terminology that everybody's familiar with for years and years. I can staple documents together. I can unstaple documents. That works with PDFs. You'll notice DocuWare stores everything in its native file format. So if it's a Word document, we're going to keep it a Word document. We're not going to pin some proprietary extension onto a document. Your documents are your documents. So with different types of documents, I have the ability to paperclip them together. So I'm going to paperclip. So the difference between paper clipping and stapling is paper clipping keeps the integrity of all of those documents. So when I open this over in my viewer, you'll see that this document is one page and then there's this paperclip symbol. And then if I navigate to the next one, you'll see that it's also a one page. And then if I navigate to the next document, it's a 9-page document. With paper clipping, if I unclip those, it will keep the integrity of all of those documents. So that's a little bit about the trays, how we get documents into the tray. Now let's store a document. So the tray is like that basket on my desk. Now I'm gonna actually go and file this away. So I'm gonna click my store button. I'm gonna choose which filing cabinet I wanna store this to. I'm gonna choose what is the document type. This is a proposal. Is it for a customer or is it for a vendor? And now this is one of our tools to allow you to index documents quickly, because we got to make, the power is in retrieving. We want to make it so that you can store these documents just as quick as clicking file save as and trying to name it and find out where to put it. So using our one-click indexing, you can simply drag over the information and see it dropping it into the index fields. I can choose what I want my subject to be. I'm just clicking with my mouse, dragging my mouse, and then letting go when I have the information selected. And then I click store. It's going to disappear out of my tray and it's now been filed away into that filing cabinet. So if I go back to this search and I'll just search document stored today, you'll see that here's that document that I just stored. So I want to introduce you to permissions real quick. If I open up a different browser, you'll see that I have it already set up with Peter Sanders is logged into the system. I'm going to have him do a search for the document type proposal, and you're going to see, reset that proposal. You're going to see that there's one document in here. So US Steel, contact name is Susan Sample. So Peter Sanders does not have access to see this exact same document that I have stored as caleb.wolf.admin. If I wanted to give him access, I could simply click Manage Access. I could find that document stored today, and I'm going to edit and just say, hey, I want to give somebody within my organization read access to this document. I can do that on the fly as a user. I don't have to contact an administrator to have them do that. So just like that, because I stored the document, I had the rights to give permissions to other people. If I go back over to Peter Sanders and I go back and I do the same search, you'll see that he now has access to that same proposal. I'll point out quickly right here, because we're talking about security and access, that if I look at what he has available to do, because I only gave him read access, you'll see that he can't print, he can't share, he can't download, he can't leave annotations on this document. So he has very limited access to this document that I just shared with him. So that's a little bit about the permissions. Let's talk about revision control. So I have a document in here. It's a Word document. I stored it in its native file format. I'm simply going to go edit this document. So there's a number of ways I can do this. I can right click on it. I can use this edit button here, or I have this toolbar in here that also has the edit. So DocuWare gives you whichever way makes the most sense for you. That's how that user would typically do this. Notice that I have edit and edit in Office for the web. If you're an Office 365 house, we can integrate with that, and you could actually edit this document in Office for the web. I'm just going to click my edit button for now. You'll see that DocuWare is automatically going to download the document. It's going to open that document in the default application. I can't talk and type at the same time. This is me making a change. Let's spell that right. And then when I close that, I'm just going to say, yes, I want to save it. DocuWare is going to automatically bring that document back into the system with those changes made to the document. So this is me making a change. If I wanted to, just to show you the edit in Office for the web, it's going to use my Office 365 credentials, open the document, be making more changes. You'll notice that in Office 365, everything's just automatically saving. So I'll close out of that. DocuWare will do a refresh of that document as well. And now you'll see this is me making more changes. And DocuWare is also keeping a version overview. So this is where that automatic revision control is taking place. You'll see here I have version 1, and I can click on it and I can see what that document looked like. Version 2, version 3. So really powerful to not have, you know, where we name a document, we say final number 1 and final number 2. I'm sure we've all been there as well. So that's a little bit about revision control. Let's look at the history of a document. So we're talking about the audit trail of a document. So if I go into the history of this document, I want to show you two things. One is the document history. DocuWare is continuously keeping a logging trail of what's occurred on a document, who accessed it, what they accessed, did they make changes to the document. Here you see some of those that we just did today in the demo, editing of content, exporting it to edit it, opening it. So all of those are logged. We also, for automatic retention policy, we have a workflow that can run if your organization wants retention and has a retention policy, say 7 years in finance or 30 years in accounting. You simply tell us what that retention policy is, and you can see here that when that document got stored, this all happened behind the scenes, that DocuWare applied the retention policy automatically and set the date, a retention date. There we go. So it automatically applied a retention date of 7/21/2030, which would be exactly 7 years from today. Now, what happens when it reaches retention? one thing that can happen is we often use lists, and lists are kind of like your dashboard or a reporting tool to keep track of documents dynamically. So I can see documents that are due in the next 30 days, documents due in the next 61 to 90 days. With retention policy, typically we'd have a list that would only be available to an administrator, and that administrator would get a list of all the documents that have met retention, and then according to your company's guidelines, they would decide what do they want to have happen when our documents reach retention. Two last things. Intelligent indexing. Super powerful tool that allows us to automatically index your documents. So we showed you one-click indexing, which is super fast. Intelligent indexing takes that to the next level. So any documents that you deal with that have a similar structure month over month or whatever period, or maybe day after day, but the information changes, DocuWare can learn those documents. So this is used very heavily in accounting departments because we work with vendors over and over again. And what happens as a user is all you have to do is store your documents just like I showed you with one-click indexing. But then the next time DocuWare sees that document, it's going to remember all of those areas that you clicked on. So here you can see 154.69 highlighted. If I come over to my subtotal field, click on tax, watch right down here in my document, you see that that highlighted area is changing. So 165. So DocuWare is automatically pulling these values. Next month, if I order 20 items from WB Mason and all of this information has shifted down on the page, DocuWare is going to follow. It's going to dynamically move with that information and pull back the correct information for you. So after DocuWare sees your documents 2 to 3 times, once again, this is repetitive documents. It's not like for any document out there, but documents you deal with from a lot of times outside personnel over and over again, intelligent indexing really saves a lot of time here. Last thing is I want to point out DocuWare requests. We talked about getting audited. DocuWare has a request tool where you can simply go in and set up a specific request. What does this do? Like I could say, hey, I need to pull up, the audit team has asked for all of the invoices that were processed in February of 2023. I could come in here and execute a request, and DocuWare will actually take all of those files and download it to a zip folder that you could then put on a jump drive, distribute it however you want to, give that to the auditors, and they will actually get a mini viewer, a mini search viewer that looks a little bit like this, where they can actually search for those documents and find the information that they're wanting to audit. So no more having to go hunt down filing cabinets and boxes to pull back all the information for an audit. So I hope that helps a little bit. That was just an introduction. There's tons more that DocuWare can do, from advanced workflows and forms, but we'll have to save that for another discussion. And with that, I will turn it back over to Nicole.
All right. Thanks, Caleb. Thanks for that demo. Yep, let's wrap up now. So I just wanted to show you this. I know for those of you on the line that having a compliance solution is a must-have for you. So this is an overview of all of the standards and certifications that DocuWare has met and achieved. If you need further information on this, you can definitely reach out to your DocuWare partner or us for more specific information. And just some key benefit takeaways before we end today. If you just, remember only this, that DocuWare will help you move towards secure digital office, no more handling paper, meet those compliance standards, have business continuity in case of any, disasters, and simplify audit prep. No more, stress regarding that. And yes, so now we can open it up for Q&A. Thanks so much for joining us, and it was nice making this first connection with you if this is your first webinar, or welcome back if this is another one that you've attended. And we definitely want to keep the conversation going. So please reach out to your authorized DocuWare partner. They did invite you, reply to that email, or look at the contact information at the bottom. request a demo at docuware.com/demo, or email us anytime, contact.us@docuware.com. If you have questions, you need to go back to the team, reach out tomorrow, next week, whenever you need to. We'll put you in touch with the right person. And thank you again, Caleb, for the demo today. Appreciate that.